Okay, this is about yesterday's news of Binance buying out FTX. It's just interesting the way it went down because the fact is Binance funded FTX, and then FTX essentially and Binance were going back and forth, squabbling with each other for like the past couple of weeks or so. Um, you know, accusations going back and forth and such, to the point where it had to have known that FTX was going to become a major competitor to Binance at that point, and Binance knew it. But the fact is like Binance realizing what was going on, they're like, you know what, we're going to liquidate all our FTT tokens. By liquidating all their FTT tokens, FTX couldn't cover as a result by far for that, because the fact is everyone is essentially withdrawing or liquidating their FTT tokens at that point too. And so FTX had no choice, not no choice, but they were going to become insolvent. So it was in the best interest of FTX that Binance buys them out. And it was interesting. It was interesting to the point like the way that Binance did this. And my concern is because the way that it was done, like Binance instigated this by liquidating theirs, that essentially any other exchange out there can actually buy out another exchange's tokens and prop it up to the point where they have a majority stake, and then eventually essentially all they have to do is follow the blueprint, liquidate all their competing exchanges tokens, and then at that point have others follow suit, to the point where eventually they'll become insolvent, and then they can buy them on the pennies on the dollars. But looking at today, basically looks like Binance is actually backing out from the FTX purchase, which is no surprise considering that FTX basically is leveraged heavily with Alameda into other aspects as well too, and like who knows all the debt they've incurred and such, and a lot of the mismanagement and all the regulatory things that's going on with them at this point right now too. It makes sense for Binance to back up. I mean, look, from Binance's perspective, Binance pretty much cropped out one competitor. That's one, and they'll have to do with the other. They just have to do this with the others. Chances are they'll probably do this with Kraken. I won't be surprised this happening to Kraken. The question is, will Gemini, being another one of the exchanges out there, as well as Bitmart, and Bitmart's more of the altcoins. But yeah, Gemini and Kraken, can they prop themselves up from something like this happening to them at this point? I don't know. It's a good question to see, but I would not be surprised if other people, other exchanges, crypto exchanges, try and doing that as well too. That's one of the things I feel is a big concern is these exchanges, crypto exchanges, having their own tokens and propping it up and leveraging against those tokens themselves as well too. I think that's a mistake, and there's got to be a way to get around that. It's the same thing with what was it, Terra Luna. I mean, the fact is like the way Terra Luna crashed and burned. Seeing it was a kind of seeing as more of like a Ponzi scheme more than anything else. Honestly, any of these exchanges that come out, they might be Ponzi schemes as well too, and like those that try to create their own tokens so that they can actually inflate the value. I think that's a mistake. Honestly, I prefer like creating an exchange. I think something that, or well, you know what, I probably might want to try to do exploring this, creating an exchange where it's not leveraged against a token of itself. Basically, maybe multiple tokens that are already out there versus an existing token that we created, and then eventually down the line, then creating your own token. That might be another option that could come down the line, or two, leveraging against gold, like the way other markets are right now. They're leveraged against gold. So at least I think so. It's something that this is not going to be the last time that an exchange is going to go under. We saw all the other exchanges going under as well too, and FTX coming in and just helping them out at that point too, which is great. But at the same time, I think they were trying to claim some of the assets and prop themselves up and inflate that value as well too. So Binance not caught wind, but more of exposed FTX, and it probably at this point is going to expose other crypto exchanges as well at this point as well too. That's why you saw Robinhood and Coinbase, basically their valuation dropping considerably at this point too. So I would not be surprised for other exchanges where they'll probably become insolvent very quickly soon. It's a concerning matter, and it's something that we should all look at. If I'm wrong about some of this stuff, some of you guys, if you're willing, comment and respond back. I'd love to know, and correct me if I'm wrong, because honestly, this is based on some stuff that I'm aware of or things that, from my understanding, I could be completely way off base. If I'm off, I'd love to hear your feedback and comments, and just help me correct me as well too, and also discuss it further too if possible. Even you want to troll, be my guest. I don't have to answer you. I don't care about that. Also, at the same time, you could like, dislike, as well as subscribe or not subscribe. It's up to you at this point. Like I said, this is a case for me just to rant out or just talk out my points and opinions. It's usually unfiltered, unedited, and unrehearsed, as you saw right here, right now, too. So it's up to you, basically. Until next time.